So the primary source of funding for that is the government of Ghana, the budget of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That's when the president was speaking. He made it clear that he has tasked the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to work out a model. So rental or building, the onus lies with the government of Ghana to find the resources and try and put it up. Of course, if they are machines that are able to generate, I'm not sure they'll be able to generate that much to put up a building or own properties themselves. But if they are, then they may be able to do it. But actually, it lies on the government of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance, and of course, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to find the resource to put up those structures, which, you see, in the short term, it may be expensive to put up. But if you spread that cost over a period, the period of time that property will be owned by Ghana, then you will find out that it will become cheaper to own and operate.
Doc, so would you be expecting that the buildings we are already renting, we will transition to owning them, or you would expect that we buy new buildings?
It depends on the dynamics at play at those buildings, because you can't force people to sell properties that they don't want to sell. So it depends on the arrangement. It depends on if those properties are available to sell, or you go and start up a new property. So it depends on the local dynamics of where the machines are located.
But how feasible is this program going to be, this initiative Stride? Because some will argue that in certain countries, renting will make more financial sense than owning the building.
These are the comparisons I think they will be doing before deciding which one they want to operate. Because if in any particular country it makes more sense, which I doubt, because if you are paying rental every year and you could put up a building, even if we assume that you are paying some taxes on those buildings, remember the rental you are paying may have already included those taxes that you will now pay on the building. So I'm not sure that the rental will in any case be less expensive than building. Maybe you build a building, you own it over 50 years. Just imagine, if regardless of the initial investment, if you spread that investment over 50 years, even with maintenance costs, you may still be doing comparatively lower than the rentals that we are currently doing.
Well, all of this is in a bid for government to cut down costs, the amount we spend on our foreign missions. And so beyond the Stride, what more should governments be looking at on a very wider stage to ensure that we are making the most out of our foreign missions and not burdening the economy?
Okay, so once the missions are there to represent Ghana, they are there to promote our interests, particularly our economic interests, our political interests, and other interests. Now, you have to realize that if the missions are very effective, for instance, I'm so happy about the fact that they have come out with a KPI for the diplomats to adhere to. Now, if you give them economic indicators, which means that if they meet those indicators over time, such as maybe increase in trade volume, increase in foreign direct investment in Ghana, the economy in Ghana will benefit from the mission to the extent that the cost you are spending on those missions will not be a huge burden on the economy. So there's another path of making the missions more effective, more efficient in terms of what they do to promote the economy of Ghana, trade exhibitions and other forms of diplomatic activities that will offset the current resource you are putting in. So missions